Hello again, Dr. Myers. I'm John Mark Junkins still, and I'm still talking about the NBA. This time we're talking about product design and product differentiation. From a product design standpoint, I'm going to cover how game length and game play can be optimized to improve the overall design of the product. And then I'm going to get into some ways that those two improvements will help them expand into more differentiation amongst their competitors. So let's get right into it because I ran over last time. So from game length standpoint, just from kind of set the table here, the average NFL game is 3 hours and 12 minutes. The average MLB game is 2 hours and 36 minutes. The average MLS game is 2 hours. And right now, the average in an NBA game is about 2 to 2.5 hours. There's some improvements that I want to talk about that we'll get to where the NBA is that 2 hour mark is kind of the cap. And that's kind of the ideal mark that they should be shooting for, to really lean into the fast pace and free-flowing nature of beautiful basketball and keep the aesthetics of the game continuous with as few stoppages and without expanding and over expanding how long games actually last. What they have going for them over baseball is that free-flowing nature. Baseball is a pretty stagnant sport. Really lean into it and cut the time down. NFL, let's not even compete with them like I mentioned in the previous video. It's an event sport where there's few games and they're at designated times during the week. And so NFL games being over 3 hours works for them. It will not work for the NBA. So how I want to drive the overall game length down, lean more into FIBA rules. FIBA rules is the organization for worldwide basketball. This is what the rules that teams play by in the Olympics and just international basketball. So the NBA has 4 12-minute quarters. FIBA rules, let's do 4 10-minute quarters. So let's just eliminate 8 minutes of game time just right there and already shorten it down. FIBA also has fewer stoppages because they only have 5 timeouts. The NBA has 5 to 7, and this can really extend games. So let's just fewer stoppages, 5 timeouts. Let's keep it moving. I'm good with 4 even. This will get us closer to kind of that FIBA time frame of about 1:45 to 2 hours, with that 2 hour mark being the cap. These games need to be fast, continuous, and free flowing. Back to the removing stoppages. There are far too many instant replay reviews in the NBA right now. Coaches only get 1 challenge, but officials have as many as they want. And within the last 2 minutes, this results in sometimes like half a dozen challenges, and those can take up to minutes. And this is time where we're not watching basketball. So there needs to be a game clock instituted for those instant replay reviews. 30 seconds. If an official is reviewing a replay and can't decide within 30 seconds if they should overturn or let the call stay or solidify the call, then the call goes back to how it was called on the court, and we just keep the game moving. Back to those total number of challenges. Coaches can still get 1 each, but right now with the officials getting an unlimited amount, you just see way more stoppages. So I'm implementing 2 total reviews for the officials. So they really focus it and use it on those big momentum turning plays rather than just this guy tipped the ball and it touched the other guy's finger barely before it went out of bounds. That's how we can reduce the length. Again, that embraces the fast-paced nature of the sport itself and the product itself. Ways we can improve gameplay. There's a number of ways, but I think the prime culprit in why ratings have gone down is for viewership for the NBA is there's a sameness to the sport now in the 3-point era and the boom of the 3-point era. And the primary culprit to point to is the corner 3. So 3-pointers taken in the far corners of the courts. This is just a really efficient shot, and therefore it's a shot that happens a lot. 19.6% of all jump shots that occur in a game are corner 3s. So that's 1 in every 5 shots that you see in the actual free-flowing nature of the game. Like when I'm not counting free throws, is what I mean by jump shots. Is a corner 3. 10% of shots overall are corner three. So 1 in every 10 that you just see somebody shoot the ball, it's a corner three. And again, I said it's because it's an effective shot. The average NBA jump shot is worth 1.0 points, while the average corner three, which goes in about 38% of the time, yields 1.16 points. It's very efficient, it's very effective, and it's worth 3 points as opposed to your average jump shot, which is 2 points. So let's just remove it. Currently the 3-point line extends to the baseline. Let's fan that out to where that corner area is now just within the 2-point line, under the 3-point line, so it's 2 points. So we're fanning that line out, just running it into the sidelines. No need yet to extend the 3-pointer back or introduce a 4-point shot. Let's just remove the corner three, and this will get a more varying style of basketball being played between teams, and where you get to see the strengths and weaknesses of different players more often and juxtaposed against each other, rather than just every team driving to the basket and kicking to the corner for the same shot that we see 1 out of every 5 times while we're watching a basketball game. This would remove a lot of the sameness. Another thing that's a degradation to the sport and how it's played. This could kind of go into the overall game time category, but I do think it falls more in the aesthetic category for me. There's a situation that's a very smart play for teams when they're up 3 points. They will intentionally foul to induce free throws for the trailing team and basically cut out their ability to shoot a game-tying three. This makes for very messy and just broken basketball in the final minutes. It also makes the game a free throw contest rather than a basketball game. And so the solution for this would be, if a team is up 3 points with less than a minute to go and fouls the losing team, that team can just take the ball out of bounds with the same amount of time that was left when the foul occurred and maintain the ball. They don't have to take the free throws. And if they get fouled a second time after that point, the free throw is now worth 3 points. So this just de-incentivizes teams from mucking up the game when they're up 3, and we just get to see actual play. So I talked about how we can shorten the games. I talked about how we can make them less similar game to game and embrace those different styles, making it a more interesting game, a prettier game. These strategies are things that will make the game more digestible on social media and streaming platforms as well, by also just reducing the amount of game that occurs and incentivizing some things that free up how people play. This makes it more of an eventized sport. So we're trying to do things that get us closer to that NFL event level perspective that customers have. So games will be shorter, faster. They'll be incentivized to be more continuous. And while a whole hour and 45-minute game or 2-hour game may not be digestible completely on a social media platform, the final 10 to 15 minutes of a game will certainly, if it's free-flowing, be way more suited for social media and streaming. And it'll be actually closer to a 10 to 15-minute real time than 45 minutes like it currently is. So that's where the product differentiation can come into play. The NBA customer is already way more online and way more social than other sports. So we can lean into this with just the shorter games, taking those snippets of those, the last quarter of a game that's now 10 minutes, and they are just much more watchable on streaming platforms. We can also implement things that lean into the gaming industry, like an esports parallel league, where there's like an NBA 2K league that you can stream NBA 2K games on Twitch during the actual game. So if the Warriors are playing the Lakers, an esports gamer, a professional esports gamer, is playing, one's playing with the Warriors, one's playing with the Lakers during that same time on Twitch. And you can have real stats from the actual game off to the side as well, with an ability to jump over to the real game during the final 5 to 10 minutes. So basically an agreement between the NBA and Twitch that, certain segments of the game would be viewable on Twitch, and that people watching the esports version could just click right over to the real version and see like a limited segment of the real game. So we're just maximizing the free-flowing, I know I said that a ton, and continuous nature of the sport so that it can be more online and just more digestible altogether.